Alright, so today I'm going to walk through how I do window trim when I'm doing LP's pre-finished products. It's about the same for primed, but it's a little bit different, and you got to be a little more exact and different things on pre-finished. Usually, I would just use I don't know, it's a furniture stapler, I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but I would usually just use a furniture stapler to shoot, and it's a lot quicker than pocket screwing, but on pre-finished I want the joints to be as tight as possible. So I'm going to do that here. So I'm just getting the measurements and I'll add and get my cut list from that. This headpiece is a little bit, it's like 6.5, 6 3/8 on one side and 6 1/8 on the other. So I'm going to cut the angle. If it was primed I might pocket, but I'm going to cut the angle on this one. I'm going to set up my saw because it's a little bit off on any job, whether it's interior or exterior trim. I'm always going to set up the saw on a new job because it's been sitting in the truck, and just making sure I'm cutting square to begin with. So I'm going to start, and this is black, so of course it's even, just everything shows on this. And honestly, the touch-up kit that LP gives is not the greatest. I don't love their color match. It's okay, but you can definitely, I don't know, in my opinion, you can see it. Most of the time the homeowners don't see it, but I can see it for sure, and I don't love it, so I try to have as, few, whether it's nails or, things that are chipping as possible. So I'm trying to keep the factory, down, or trying to use the factory edge as much as possible wherever I can. So yeah, but I'm just getting my cuts here, and yeah, and then I'll use the Craig. I've found, I don't know, they make different, obviously there's different versions of this, but this is the one I've just stuck with. I don't know the model of it, number or whatever, but this one I've liked using. So yeah, and then this is the bottom middle piece. The head piece goes over the two sides, and the bottom piece goes in between the two sides. So I'm going to pocket screw both sides of the bottom piece, and then on the two sides I'm going to do the one side that screw up into the head piece, and then the head piece isn't going to get any pre-pocket screws. It's going to get screwed into, but not any pre-drilled like this. So it's just the three pieces there that'll get pre-drilled, or whatever you want to call it. But then I'm going to cut the headpiece here, and we only had 1x6, or it's 5/4 by 6, but so I had to, that was a weird window, so I had to just, cut two pieces and join them together. So it's not ideal, but it looks fine. And with the pocket screws, putting the headpiece together like this is okay. Like I said, it's not ideal, but I just didn't have any 8 on site, so this is what I did. And yeah, so I like to use this clamp. Again, it's a Craig clamp. I'm not sure exactly which one it is, but I like to just, rather than, it's an extra set of hands essentially, so I like to use that. And then here, again, I'm using that clamp on the joint. I'm screwing the side piece up into the head piece. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. I just do 2 from one of it, into the other. I don't see a reason for there to be a pre-drill from the head piece down into the side as well. So, and then this is the bottom inner piece. I don't know, some guys like to do the top and bottom, the same. So whether that's in filling or, going over the sides, but I don't know, this is just how we've always done it, is doing the infill on the bottom piece and overhanging it on the top. So that's that. And for shooting it on, we're going to use 15 gauge nails. The head is about the same. I don't know, like if you're filling or doing anything like that, I almost always grab the 15. It's either 18 or 15. I don't really use the 16 gauge anymore. And for how big the head is and everything like that, I really like the 15 gauge, and you can use, minimal nails on something like this as far as I've found. So yeah, but I'm just having to, hold it's fairly heavy, like when you're on one side of the window trying to hold it up, and get it onto the window. It's, you know, fairly awkward and heavy, but it's a lot easier, and you can just kind of set it on the top and just making sure my reveal is good. And I try to keep it within a 16th and an 8th gap. I don't like to have more than that or less than that, obviously, because there's some expansion. So yeah, but then I'm just gonna make sure my gap is, or reveal is consistent and the way I want it, and I'm gonna shoot it off. And that's how I do that. So that's pretty much the process. This is just another example of get all my measurements and cut everything and make all of them, and then I just set them by where I need them, and then I'm gonna go up to the window and set it on top of it and grab my gun and shoot it off. And all the joints are tight, and yeah, I don't know. It just pre-making them is 100% quicker, and it looks better, and it's gonna last longer. It may not feel like it's quicker. Maybe some guys are faster piecing it in, but it definitely doesn't look better. I can 100% guarantee that. And yeah, just the way, the amount of nails and using the 15 gauge and the way we do it, I like the way we do it. Not that there's not a better way or whatever, but the efficient and decent way of doing it. And it's, one guy, like, I can, obviously these are from the ground, but I can hang almost any single window like this by myself. So it's just a good way of doing it. But like I said, there's a lot of other ways people do it, but this is how I do it. And of course we'll go back and touch each nail head. That's why I'm kind of doing minimal. It's definitely enough, but it's minimal in my opinion. But yeah, so this is how I do it. And if there's any questions or ways other people do it, I'm curious how other people think about it or whatever. So just let me know what everybody thinks, if anybody even cares to watch this. And we'll see you guys another time.